everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I thought I would do a little bit of an essential food list of things that you need to have in your house if you are wanting to become vegan or plant-based, or if you're just trying out veganuary. Most people I speak to think that being vegan is really expensive, and yes, there are lots of different things out there that you can, top your diet up with, or there's lots of little extras, but you don't have to get all those things. If you try and follow quite a basic whole foods diet, then you will pretty much cover everything that you need. So I'm not going to cover absolutely everything in this video. I'm just going to go through 10 kind of staples that we have in to give you a little bit of an insight of the things that you can make some meals out of, and I'll just give you some ideas of what meals you can make with these staples. Potatoes, sweet potatoes. You can either have just white potatoes, you can either have just sweet potatoes, or you can have a mixture of the both. We always get a mixture of the both in because we love both, and you can make things like, have a look at my book. So with potatoes and sweet potatoes, obviously you can make things like stews, soups, salads, curries, beans. Why have I written beans? Right, listen, it was super late when I was writing this down last night, so I have no idea why I've written beans. No, absolutely no idea. Nothing's coming to me. Chips and wedges. So they're just a few ideas. Rice, and again, your preference really. Obviously, brown rice or whole grain, whole wheat. I don't even know what it's called, but we get brown rice usually. I do like white basmati rice sometimes with my curry, and there's there's nothing wrong with that. You've got to get whatever works for you. Or obviously there's gluten-free rice as well, and this short grain rice, we like that sometimes as well. So get some rice in, or some quinoa. You can either have rice and quinoa, or you can just get the rice in if that's what you're familiar with. But quinoa is actually a really good whole protein, and it is a great staple, and it's not expensive. So even though it might be something that you've not heard of before, and it sounds a little bit unusual, so now at least you know how to pronounce it properly, because when I first started I was calling it quinoa, and I'm sure most people were. So yeah, so they can contribute towards curries, butter bowls, sushi bowls. But if you want to make sushi rolls, then I think you're better off using the short grain rice. I don't have sushi that often, but I think that would probably work better than the long grain rice. You can add it to soup, you can add it to stews, you can add it to salad even, and you can have it with chili. So lots of variety there, different meals that you can make with your rice or quinoa. Pasta or noodles, pasta and noodles, whatever you prefer. Again, preferably if you can get whole wheat, that's just a little bit more nutritional. That's just a little bit more for you. Or obviously you can also now get gluten-free, and there's lots of different ones. There's rice, I think there's rice pasta, or brown rice pasta, there's lentil pasta, pea pasta, edamame pasta, I think. Obviously with your pasta you can make pasta dishes. Things like carbonara, one of our absolute favourites in this house. We probably have it at least once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. We love it. You can do just a tomato pasta with veg, roasted vegetables. Macaroni, you can get macaroni pasta and do macaroni and cheese. There's loads of recipes online for that, so just look that up. Lasagna, and then you can put noodles in your stir fry, or you can put noodles in a soup as well. So plenty of variety there again. Variety of beans and legumes. You'll sound really funny when I say that word. But we tend to have in things like green and red lentils. We get a mixture of dried and tinned. It really is up to you. If you've got time to soak them and everything. Oh, sorry, I've got a crack in my neck. If you've got time to soak them and everything, then go for your dried beans. You can get a nice big bulk buy, and then that's also helping the environment. So yeah, or you can get tinned. And I don't know how to pronounce this one. I think it's poi lentils. You can get split green peas, and they're great for soup. You can get chickpeas. We have chickpeas in all the time. That is one of our absolute staples. And they are great in pasta. We like doing crunchy chickpeas in the air fryer and throwing them on top of pasta. You can put them in stews, curries, chili. Same with black beans, great for butter bowls or stews again, and in chili. There's becoming a bit of a pattern here, isn't there? Excuse me. You can make black bean burgers, haricot beans. We've got, I usually buy those in mainly for making baked beans. I like to make my own homemade baked beans. And then again, you can throw those in chili if you want it to be in chili. And then there's also things like black-eyed beans, pinto, butter beans. There is an absolute massive variety of beans, and they're so easy to get hold of and so cheap. So that is number 4. Is, I would say, get a good selection of herbs and spices in. So the main things that we keep in are things like chili flakes, cinnamon, curry powder, mixed herbs, oregano, basil, paprika, and then like a multi-seasoning. If you don't know what I mean by that, like you can get things like chicken seasoning and it doesn't contain any chicken or anything to do with chicken. It's just the seasonings that that brand, I suppose, recommend go well with chicken. So it's just lots of different spices and herbs all in one big pot, and then they're quite good and we throw them on all sorts of things. So yeah, something like that. And then obviously you can get all your you know, your separate curries and stuff like that, but I would just always have a curry powder in. And obviously you can get fresh herbs as well. I don't often buy them in, but we'll have usually basil or coriander in, because coriander is great on curries and basil is great in your pastas and making pesto pasta. Oh, I've not even written that down. Pesto pasta is another great one. So get your fresh basil in for that. I'd say get a good selection of chopped tomatoes, puree and passatas in. They're great for stews, curries, pastas and beans. Oats. Now, I actually, before I started on my little vegan journey, I wasn't that keen on having porridge. I thought it was boring and plain and disgusting, and I thought, no way am I having porridge every morning. And I, as a matter of fact, do have porridge every single morning. So it really does depend on what you put in it, how you cook it, what you put on top of it, and it makes the world of difference. So yeah, get some porridge in. You can make some oats, sorry, you can make obviously porridge, you can make overnight oats, you can use it for flapjacks, you can make oat flour for cakes, you can make oat bars, oh, the list is endless. I get a massive bag, I think it's something like 3 kilograms maybe, and I got my last big bag from the food warehouse and it was £3. It's fresh and frozen vegetables / salad. I've just put it all under one category. All your greens, all your goodness, all that kind of stuff. So you've got, the main things we kind of get in are broccoli, green beans, peas and sweet corn, frozen spinach, onions. I get fresh spinach in as well, sorry, and I get fresh onions in as well. Carrots, tomatoes, cucumbers, spring onions or green onions, romaine lettuce, celery, peppers, avocados, mushrooms, aubergine, courgette. That's kind of the brunt of what we buy in. Not every week obviously, but they're the kind of things that we like to buy in. Some dairy-free milks. Now I think this is the thing that most people struggle with when they try and go vegan or they try and go plant-based, because they like a good cup of tea or they like a good cup of coffee, and it has honestly taken me until maybe halfway through last year before I found what milk we really like in our coffee, and we now use Oatly Barista. I'll show you. We use this in our coffee, and especially if you like a good frothy coffee, it froths up brilliantly, and we just use a little bit of something called skinny syrup to sweeten it a little bit, and yeah, that is the best, we think, for tea and coffee, but we mainly use it for coffee. And then we use almond milk. We usually use whichever's on offer really, but this is, I think, is usually one of the cheaper ones, Almond Breeze, and we use that in our cereals. So yeah, there are loads of different milks though. There's hazelnut, there's oh gosh, I can't think of it, hemp, almond, soya. Yeah, there's loads, you'll see them all. The supermarkets are absolutely jam-packed now in the free from section usually of all different milks and vegan friendly things that you can get that all really. And then under that category again, get some dairy-free butter. I mean, this isn't essential really. We tend to buy it in and we like to have it on toast sometimes. And if I am baking something and it requires butter, sometimes I will use this butter. And we like to use Vitalite. Again, I'll show you. So we like to use this one. And this, again, I've been through a few different butters and this seems to be the one that's the most buttery, because before we went vegan we used to use like a proper block of butter rather than margarine. I don't know why, we just really liked butter, and this we've found to be the most buttery taste, so we like that one. And you can usually pick that up for £1.20, that's where we live anyway, but £1.20, sometimes it goes on offer for £1 and then we usually grab a few tubs. I don't know why we're on the same 20p, but anyway. And then an optional extra really is cheese. There are loads of different dairy-free cheeses now that you can get. We don't buy it in every week, but occasionally we'll buy a soft cheese, or we'll buy, BioLife cheese slices or the block, just for making sandwiches or cheese and crackers for school lunches, just to change it up a bit. But there's loads of recipes out there as well for making your own homemade cheese, and my mum makes a killer cheese. It's absolutely amazing. It's sliceable, it's meltable, it's grateable, it's gorgeousness. And then after that, really, your kind of optional extras are things like nutritional yeast, if you haven't heard of that already. This is what it looks like on the inside. And the first person I ever saw using this was Delicious Liella, and she described this, that it looked like fish flakes, and it does look like fish flakes. It doesn't smell like them though, thankfully. But yeah, we add that to all sorts of things. It's supposed to give like a cheesy, nutty flavour, and it's got added B12 as well, which is really, really good for you, and important in your vegan diet. So yeah, pick some of that. You can pick some of that up from Holland & Barrett. Amazon has a good deal usually of, I think, 3 tubs. I can't remember the price. Oh, and Aldi have this in at the moment on their special buys for £2.99. So if you're near an Aldi, go and pick some of that. Other kind of essentials we have in, but again, isn't necessarily essential. It's completely up to you. It depends on the recipes you come across. It depends on how much money you can afford to spend on extra ingredients. We like to have nut butter in. We buy nuts in for making granola sometimes. We have hummus in, or I'll make hummus from the chickpeas that we buy in. We have something called tamari, which is a soy sauce. And I buy hemp seeds in. Again, it's not necessarily as essential. They're really, really good for you though to throw in your salad. You can just sprinkle some on your salad, but I buy them in mainly for Esme because they've got really good healthy fats in them. And omegas, so mainly for Braden and Esme, but Esme, while she's still growing quite a lot, I throw them on the porridge in the morning, and anything else really she's having throughout the day. If I can throw hemp seeds on, I will do, so that's another optional extra. And then flax seeds, we get a big bag like this from Costco, and I think you can pick them up from the supermarkets as well. I'm not sure if they're a little bit more expensive there or at Costco. I haven't really done my research on that properly. I just kind of pick them up when I need them. They're great for, again, throwing on your salads, in your porridge, in anything really, just to get that added omegas that you can get from it. And you can make flax eggs with it as well to contribute towards your vegan baking. And then you can usually pick them up fairly cheap. So chia seeds again are great for throwing on things, throwing in energy balls. I think they call them like the little powerhouses. We put them on breakfast every single morning as well, and sometimes we'll make chia eggs from them when we're making pancakes or something like that. Yeah, so that is pretty much all I can think of at the moment. If you have any questions, I will do my very best to answer them, and if you are on Veganuary, then I wish you the best of luck and I hope you manage to stick it out, or I hope you make some good changes and you feel the benefit from it. And if you are just looking to try and go plant-based or go vegan, then good luck. I hope you enjoy your journey. And that is everything for me. If you like what you've seen here, then please do subscribe. I have been away for a little bit from my channel, but I am coming back and trying to bring more recipe videos and more of the vegan side of things. So yeah, I would love you to stick around and I will see you in my next video.